everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's look is going to be on the smoky brown matte eye look with a new look using high-end products. So please subscribe, like the video, and if you want to know how I achieved this look, keep watching. So something I've been recently loving has been this Too Faced Hangover Primer. I will add this on my T-zone where it tends to get more oily. It will help me mattify my skin and also minimize the size of my pores. So I love this primer. For some additional hydration, I'll go in with this primer water from Smashbox. It's going to give me more hydration to the face without adding any additional grease or oil, which you want to stay away from. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in 1 and 2. So I will go ahead and just dot this all over my face. You want to be careful with how much you're applying because a little goes a long way. So I'll apply and then keep building it up as I'm needing it. You don't want to get that cake face. This foundation is also going to be super durable and it's not going to move, not going to go anywhere. I'll go ahead and grab one of my brushes and just buff it out, and then of course grabbing my Real Techniques sponge to go ahead and absorb any additional product, plus also just smoothing my face all over and make sure there's no hard lines or no hard edges and everything looks soft and smooth. Picking up my favorite, which is Tarte, go ahead and take care of the concealing part. This one's the same way. You want to add little by little. This one is such a heavy duty concealer that putting on too much can sometimes end up in a disaster. So you want to go ahead and just dot and then see how it's looking and then keep adding as you're needing. You don't want to go too heavy handed because then to take it off it's going to be harder. I'm going to grab my beauty blender and just disperse the concealer all over the eyes. And then I'm also going to go back in and just make sure there's no creasing under the eyes. This concealer is amazing. Best concealer in the world ever. Even though it's so heavy duty and so durable, it's still not going to leave you with that heavy feeling underneath the eye, but it's still going to make sure it's covering all those dark circles. I'm now going to grab a little bit more and put it on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, on the cupid's bow, and some on my chin. Sometimes I put some around my mouth if I tend to see that it's a little bit darker around there. So just to make sure we're highlighting the areas that we really want to pop out. I'm going to grab some loose powder and just bake a little bit under my eyes. I don't want to bake too much because that'll make it a little bit too powdery. So you want to be careful on how long you're leaving it under. Usually I'll just go ahead and press it underneath the eyes and all over my eyelids as well to set everything, and then I'll just dust it away with a brush. I'm going to pick up my big fluffy Real Techniques brush just to dust everything off, and whatever I'm dusting away, sometimes I'll use that powder to just set the rest of my face as well. That way I'm not adding too much. I'm going to quickly go in and just fill any sparse areas in my eyebrows. Like I've said before, I have super thick eyebrows that I don't really have to do much to them. So I'll just grab a pencil and fill them in, and then I will grab some gel and set them in place just so there's not hair flying everywhere and they stay in their spot. And now moving into the eyeshadow part, I'm going to go into the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going to be using some warm tone colors here, some matte browns, the darker brown, and a little bit of the sparkly for the inner highlight. I'm going to grab a fluffy brush and just start off with a transition shade. Just go ahead and get that all over the eyelid. I don't want to take it too high up into the crease, but just to make sure I have a nice transition shade for when I add this dark brown. Adding in the dark brown just all over the lid, and then make sure I go back in with a fluffy brush that doesn't have any excess powder or any excess eyeshadow, and just buffing it out and making sure everything's nice and smooth. I want to ensure that I don't have any harsh lines. I'm also going to go ahead and take the same colors that I am using on the top of the lid and do it right underneath the lower lash line just to make sure that everything looks seamless and everything looks pretty and it matches. Going to dip back in that little shimmery shadow, and I'm going to add some in the inner corner of my eye, but as well I'm going to add some to the brow bone just to go ahead and lift up the eyebrow a little bit more. Help intensify the look, but not too dramatically. I'm going to go ahead and curl my eyelashes, curl them up to the sky. I wish that they were longer and fuller, but I gotta work with what I got. I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this little It Cosmetics mascara. I believe I got it for free for my birthday from Ulta. So again, I was going to try it out, see if I liked it, and then go get the bigger one if I do. So it's pretty good, doesn't clump them up or anything. I'm now going to go into this Benefit Cheek Parade little palette that I have. It has like 5 big pans and then an empty one where the little brush came in, but I don't use a brush, I use my own brush. I'm gonna do some bronzing around the skin to give it some color so I don't look this pale. We're gonna go ahead and just do all around the skin, cheekbones, jawline, around the temples, and give it some warmth to that face. I love the bronzing effect on the face and the warmth it brings back to the all over look. Sometimes I'll go in and add some contour, like today I added a little bit, but usually just bronzing and I'm good to go. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of contour so I can define the cheekbones a little bit more, but not too heavy handed. I don't like that muddy look on the cheeks. And then going in with some blush from the same palette, I'm just going to go ahead and lightly pat some blush all over. Instead of just adding it to the cheekbones, I tend to take it up a little bit longer and even around the temples just to give it that smooth transition all the way up. I'm going to go in with some MAC Fix Plus just to set the face and ensure that all of the powders dissolve and solve into my skin and it looks like skin instead of powder. And then go back in with my Real Technique sponge and just pat everything in to make sure everything looks seamless. My favorite part, for a highlighter. This highlighter is so creamy and so good and so pigmented. A little goes a long way. I'll barely tap in my brush and still have to tap some off. I am using the ABH A23, I believe is the brush that is the highlighter brush. So I'm barely gonna go in there and just add some. I say barely and then I add some for like 5 hours, but it's okay. You gotta just go with the flow. So taking it on the high points of my cheekbone, around my temples, and a little bit down the bridge of my nose. Just highlight anywhere your heart tells you to. Just highlight all over the face, it's okay. Going in with some Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray just to set everything in place again. Make sure everything stays put and nothing goes anywhere all night. You'll be good to go. And adding some additional eyeliner on the waterline just to wrap up the eye look and make sure we're set to go on that part as well. For lips, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills in Pure Hollywood. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that all over the lips. I love this color. It's such a pretty mauve pink. And no matter what eye look you do, I think this lip color goes with anything. I have another one too. It's a little bit more of a mauve brown. Super, super pretty. We are all done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the look. Let me know what you want to see next and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.